Let me give you a little history. First of all, thank you for coming. This is extremely important, and I'm going to tell you why. About 3-4 months ago, Epsilon Omega chapter of AKA came to me and said, you know something, we have a national initiative that deals with financial literacy and economic development, and we want to try to permeate that through the community. And I said, that is a good concept, and since that's what we deal with, then we will partner with AKA. However, you know, there are other fraternities and sororities, and we said, why don't we involve them all? Because a rising tide raises the old ship. So I'm so thankful for the Divine Nine for their participation in this initiative. And just on a serious note, financial literacy and economic development is the pathway to an improved community. From us, by us, and for us. You know, we don't need to depend on anybody. It's okay to be participatory. But last time I checked, African American consumerism in Central Georgia is $3.5 billion. And we need some financial literacy because we need to maximize and utilize that $3.5 billion for the development and the advancement of the entire community. You know, and I don't think that we need to just get together without having achieved something measurable. I'm so proud, first of all of these Greek organizations and the Divine Nine. Now let me tell you something. This is a good example of people who are doing the same thing, being able to work together. There are different fraternities and different sororities, but they got a general sisterhood and a general brotherhood, and that's why they are so successful in our community. So congratulations to you all for having the kind of spirit. Let's give them a hand. At this time, speaking of fraternities and sororities, we're going to bring Mr. Gregory Brown, who's the president of the Panhellenic Council, who was measurably helpful in putting this activity together. Greg.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to ask if the local members of the Macon Middle Georgia Executive Board could join me here at the stand as well. Like Habersham said, we started this process back in May of 2019 just to start putting things together in place for this Greek explosion. Mr. Habersham will work you. He will work you now. He'll call you. And he was calling and everything, and we met. We had some good meals at Dab's Cafe, and then another meal was catered at the Ruth Hartley Mosley Center. But we were meeting throughout the summer just to make sure we really put together and participated in this Greek explosion and business and consumer mixer. We have here with us members of the executive board who represents different fraternities and sororities. And we would just like to, again, just thank Mr. Habersham for including us in this great event. And we look forward to many more. And we look forward to many more things that we can do in collaboration with the Macon Middle Georgia Black Pages. And I'll just pass the microphone so each member of the board can introduce themselves.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sakima Harris Harmon. I am a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
All right.
I'm Alex Habersham, and I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity.
Jim Dothert, member of A5.
Good evening, Vanessa Williams, member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Right.
Good evening, Inga Cook, a member of Zeta Phi Beta.
Good evening, my name is Rhonda King, and I'm a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.
Good evening, my name is Ken Boyer, and I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
All right, thank you again, and we look forward to many more partnerships with Macon Middle Georgia Black Pages.
Thank you, sir. And of course, we're going to start with David Danzig, who is the Vice President for Cadence Bank. and he got 5 minutes.
You silly. You are silly. Good evening. My name is David Edge. I'm Vice President of the Cadence Bank, and I'm going to use a few notes because I don't want to leave anything out. Is that all right? Okay. So when we talk about financial literacy, it's important to let everybody know that it equips us with the knowledge that we need to be able to manage money effectively. But when you think about the situation that we find ourselves in, sometimes the actions that we take or don't take can lead to detrimental effects. What do I mean by that? Well, nearly half of Americans don't expect to have enough money to retire comfortably. Are you one of those? Credit card debt has reached its highest point ever. 40% of Americans can't afford a $400 emergency expense. Nearly 4 out of every 5 U.S. workers live paycheck to paycheck. Over a quarter never save any money month to month. And almost 75% are in some form of debt, and most assume they always will be. Do any of you feel like that's talking about you? I know I feel like they're talking about me. And that's because the times in which we live are unprecedented. A lot of times we find that we spend more than we make because we choose our wants over our needs. And so the difference between financial literacy and doing what you want is making the grown-up decision. And unfortunately, it's not just our children that are being misled. As adults, we find that understanding stats and facts about money has not truly been grasped by even grown-ups like ourselves. You know, when you have the skill set and you're able to understand major financial issues that most people face, like emergencies, debts, budgeting, investments, when you learn how to deal with those types of things, that's when you can truly say that you're financially literate and free. Because if not, you're constantly bound by debt, headache, stress, and struggle. So what we want to talk to you about tonight, when you come to the Cadence Bank table, is budgeting. We want to talk to you about emergencies. When you feel like you need to have some money, but you can't ever seem to have any, how can we help you with that? And then finally, we want you to be able to mitigate debt. How can you help your money help you? So how can you increase your cash flow that's coming into your house, make it work while it's in your house, and make it go out slower? That's our job. And so let us help you with that.
Okay, I got so excited when I had all of the race up here, but I did want to give the person from AKA, which was the lead organization that helped us with this, a chance to say some remarks. Tanya Allen.
Thank you so much, Mr. Haversham, and thank you for the partnership. We really appreciate you trusting us to do this event with you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. As he said, I'm Tanya Allen. I'm the first Vice President of Epsilon Omega Chapter. What does that really mean? I serve next to the Basileus, and our president, rather, is none other than Brenda Umis. So please stand, Brenda. We're so elated to have her here today with us. And in my role as first vice president, I'm also the program chair. So I just oversee the programs that our international office has given us to implement over the next 4 years. Our international president is none other than Glenda Baskin Glover, who's also the president of Tennessee State University. And she serves as the international president for our organization, which has over 400,000 active members. So we are really excited about that accomplishment. But what we're here to do today is to just put a spotlight on the importance of just what Mr. Danzy spoke about being financially sound and making sure that you have a plan. So one of our international targets, we have 5 targets. The first is HBCU for life, And that's where we promote students going to a historically black college or university. We also have a signature program called #CAP, and that stands for College Admissions Program. And we want students not only go to a historically black university, but they can go to any college or university that they choose. So we're promoting that as well. Our second target is women's health care and wellness. And as women, we are often always taking care of everybody else, right? When you get home, you make sure the children have some food, you make sure your husband has some food, and then you're the last one, and then you stay up late at night doing homework, whatever it is. But oftentimes, we don't often take care of ourselves. And we also have another component of that, which speaks of caregivers. And so many times, women are caregivers for other people. Our third target, which brings us here tonight, is building your economic legacy. And with that, we have a financial literacy piece. We also have a piece called AKA Assist. And that's where we reach out and provide service to others in our community. Our fourth target is the arts, with the emphasis on the Harlem Renaissance. And our fifth target is global impact. And for us, that means that we have a focus on all people internationally, and we want to serve those in our community. So tonight, our focus, as I mentioned, is on building your economic legacy. We have brochures set about. We have a phenomenal two co-chairmen. You've seen them here tonight, Ms. Coretta Scott and Ms. Eddie Mae Reed. Wave your hands, ladies. So they are the ones who lead this committee, as well as the other ladies who are here being represented tonight. But the piece that I do want to let you know is not only do we look good in pink and green, but we raise money and we give over $10,000 in scholarships each year to students who live in the Macon, Middle Georgia area or who attend a school in Macon, Middle Georgia. And we also give scholarships to college students who may attend a historically black college or university, and then we help our younger sisters out who are at Mercer University and Georgia College and State University with a scholarship as well. So we are busy. So when you see us riding around with our AKA car tags and our pink and green paraphernalia, know that yes, we are one and that we all believe in service to mankind. But we are definitely committed to that service and making sure that we have an impact on the economic stance and situation of Macon, Middle Georgia area. We want to make sure that when you leave here tonight, that you are promoting your product. We have part of what we want to speak about, or part of our emphasis is on focusing on and spotlighting those businesses that are primarily run by African American people. And we want to get your name out there. We want to support you and have that financial impact on you and help you to be the best that you can be, and you be able to get your product out and the services that you may render to everyone. You guys look great tonight. So excited to be here to recognize all of you and the efforts that you're doing in our community. And again, thank you, Mr. Habersham, for this opportunity to speak.
This time we're going to have Mr. Daquanis Harvey with Project Hope to come up and talk about something that's extremely important, which is financial well-being. Give them a hand.
Good afternoon. We're talking about money. Y'all not excited? I get excited when I have this conversation. As Mr. Habersham has already stated, my name is Daquanis Harvey. I'm a financial well-being coach for Operation Hope. Although we have a full suite of services, entrepreneurship training, youth empowerment training, home ownership training, most of our clients come to us because they're looking to improve their credit scores. Somewhere they've heard that we have a 700 credit score initiative. Have you guys heard that? Have you heard that? Yes, there you go. All right, so the credit score is vitally important. And although we look to improve on the credit scores, Mr. Danzy pointed out some things that I'm going to cover a little bit about two of those stats. So I'm going to pivot a little bit, and cover some other things. Credit has managed to weave its way into every aspect of our financial lives. I'm talking about your car insurance premiums, your life insurance premiums, whether or not you make that deposit for your securities, for your utilities, whether or not, you get a good interest rate on the products that you need. Because I don't know, I could spend a whole 20 minutes talking about how that affects you, the interest rates that you get. So credit has crept into every part of our lives. And so we have got to get a hold on this credit, and Operation Hope is here to assist you in that. We have Bert back there who handles our entrepreneurship training. I handle most of our credit and money management, as well as home ownership. And so we love to have you stop by the table to talk a little bit more about what we do. And I wanted to say something else real quick too. Andrew Young said something that stuck with me. And he said to be in a system of free enterprise and capitalism and not understand the rules of free enterprise and capitalism is the very definition of modern day slavery. And that slavery we're talking about is debt. Those are the stats I was going to cover as well. Because credit and money management go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. And so before I take my seat, I'll leave you with something that you probably didn't know, and I just want to share it with you here this afternoon. And that is, in 1865, something happened. When Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, one of the things that he did, and one of the most important things that he did, was sign into law two things. That was Field Action 15, and that was the Freedmen's Bank Bureau. Now, Field Action 15 was supposed to give the free slaves land, and the Bank Bureau was supposed to teach the free slaves about credit and money management. Now, the bank lasted for 9 years, and at the height of the bank, it was $57 million in deposit, which equates to about $9 billion a day, making it one of the top 25 banks in the world, just off that stat alone. The bank ultimately failed because 5 weeks after Lincoln signed that into action, he was assassinated. I said all that to say this. It's not that we got the memo of money and management and messed it up. We just never got the memo. And so Operation Hope was founded in 1992 in an effort to continue that legacy. So feel free to stop by the table. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Thank you. Have a good night.
At this time, I'm going to call up Ms. Sharon Mack, who is the Regional Marketing Manager for Cricket Wireless. We've been working together for quite some time, and she's going to talk some about employment and anything else she wants to talk about as it relates to what we're trying to accomplish. Let's give Ms. Mack a hand. I wonder if she's Greek.
And I am. So I first will shout out and give thanks to Mr. Habersham and thank him for allowing us to be here. As he said, I'm Sharon Mack, and I work with Cricket Wireless along with the team over here that's at the table. But I absolutely have to give a shout out to my absolutely beautiful source of Alpha Kappa Alpha. So ski to them, and hello to all of the Divine Nine and everyone that's in the room. I actually really want to talk a little bit, because we're on the topic of financial management, financial literacy, and the importance of building wealth, really about how you can leverage use of your cell phone and electronics to really help with that. I mean, what we know is the days of managing a checkbook are gone, over. No one does that. No one wants to do that. We don't write checks or use checks. So we used to have times probably where we would sit down and take a minute to balance checkbooks, look at what we were doing, maybe look at how we could assess patterns of what we were spending. But we don't have that opportunity. So I just want to talk a little bit about the fact that now there are so many apps that will give you the opportunity to do just that. Everything from allowing you to pay bills, track expenses, share expenses, set up bill payments so that you can do things in a timely manner, and also look at how you have some patterns in your spending, things that you know that you do and you probably do well, and things that you may not need to do and probably may not need to spend on. So I just want to call out a couple of apps that I think may be helpful, and just talk a little bit about using your cell phone to help with your financial management and making wise decisions. There are a couple of apps. If you think about Mint, there's another one called Prism, another one called Every Dollar, another one Spendy, and then another one called Personal Capital. These are, when you start to really research this and look up how apps can be helpful, and some of the top ones that really help us that are very efficient. First of all, who in here does not have a cell phone? I don't even want to ask who has one, because I know everyone pretty much does. Is there anyone that doesn't have a cell phone? Right, that's what I thought. So you basically have them, they're almost an additional hand. So we have two hands, they're almost a third hand. So we keep them and we use them all the time. So why not take those devices and the devices that you use, the devices that we're very familiar with at Cricket Wireless, and really put those to good use. So taking the opportunity to leverage apps gives you the opportunity to track things really, and also set some really good patterns and habits about how you're spending. Tracking spending, looking at patterns, things that you can do, things that you shouldn't do. I would just say really quickly, the importance of doing this would make sure that you stay financially literate, make sure that you use and leverage a device that you already have, and make sure that you're using electronics to your benefit. We know that the difference between managing and accumulating and growing wealth is the difference with us feeding our families, staying afloat, and in the times that we're living in now economically, we've got to really stay on top of this. So I just wanted to talk about that from the perspective of the devices that we have, and certainly let you all know that I'm excited to be here. I know that our team is excited to be here as well, but I think it's really important to think about something that you have in hand every day. You're walking around, you could do that on a break, on a time when you're sitting and have downtime or idle time. But this is just a way to really talk about the fact that these devices and the apps will actually help you with budgeting, tracking, things that we all probably need to be very aware of. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here. Thanks.
At this point, I'm going to call Miss Jane Pennington up. And I'm going to tell you something she said. She said to me, where you at? Oh, just come. She said, you know what? She said, we need to start leaving a legacy and start taking care of our family. You know, and I don't know, she's not going to say it, but a long time ago, Merle going to get at me what she said. Long time ago, they used to say, I ain't leaving no money for no rascal to be spending it. You know, and that certainly is not the attitude to take about leaving finances and a legacy for your family.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My sole purpose of being here is, like Mr. Habersham said, we was taught, our parents was taught, to buy enough insurance to bury you. They paid $2.50 a week for the rest of their lives for $2,500 worth of coverage. And when they died, it still wasn't enough, right? So when you know better, you ought to do better. We need to, like at work, how many people in here know whether your insurance at work is portable? How many know how much insurance do you have? So you say, everybody I talk to, they say, I got it at work. I got insurance at work. I don't want my insurance. You keep calling me about insurance. I don't want no insurance. Okay, so if you leave your job, if you get terminated, what happens? What happens to your life insurance? You don't have any. Is it term? I had a Monroe County school teacher that retired after 30 years. She came in my office with tears in her eyes. She said, you know, I didn't know I had term insurance. I've worked 30 years for the Monroe County School Board, and I don't have any insurance. Y'all know I'm telling the truth, right? So, you need to get an insurance policy of your own. Don't depend on the workplace unless you know when you leave that insurance will go with you. So, young people, they're making more money out of college than we made when we got out of college. But I cannot emphasize with them enough to buy life insurance to take care of your family, to leave a legacy for your family. So when you die, because that day coming, that your wife can still live in that nice neighborhood, your kids can still go to that nice school. But you got to leave a legacy for the family and stop leaving them broke without any life insurance. Well, we got to scrape up money to bury it. It just doesn't make sense. And also, one last thing. Whatever you can invest, the money that you can put up at work for your company will match your retirement plan, max it out. You won't do nothing with the money anyway. You don't even know what happened to it, but max out that retirement. So once again, when you die, that kid can go to that same great school, college, and have a down payment for a house. Your wife won't have to marry anybody because you didn't leave her broke. Is that true? All right. So come visit me. I have one brochure over here from one generation to the next, passing on family land, lifestyle, and a legacy, and estate planning. How many people have a will in the room? You don't have to raise your hand, but you know whether you have a will or not, right? If you don't have a will, please get one, because that would be a big problem for your family. And you know what? I worked in banking for 15 years, and guess what? When somebody died, the first person at the door that come in, raising saying, how much money mama had, and we need to get that money so we can bury her. But if it's no will, and mama doesn't have anybody's name on that account but hers, you ain't get that money, because guess what? It goes into an estate and you won't get it. You have to find another way to bury them. So let's take care of our business, okay? Thank you.
www.maconblackpages.com